Hi, and welcome to The Bright Balloon, a podcast where I'm sharing bright ideas for your balloon business. My name is Sarah Meyer, and I'm a balloon business owner like you, and I love the creative side of what I do, but I really love the business side, which seems to be the part where most people struggle. So I'm here to help. Each week, I'm bringing you an episode full of bite-sized tips you can use to make tiny improvements to your business. I want you to make more money, eliminate stress, and learn along with me as we grow our creative businesses together. Welcome to The Bright Balloon. Hello and welcome to this episode. Today I am joined by Joette from ballooncoach.com, and she and I are having a pretty honest conversation about double stuffing balloons. So this is the idea that you would take one balloon and put it inside of another balloon to essentially mix the colors together to get a custom shade. And this has grown in popularity over the last few years. You see it all over Instagram, and she and I are chatting about why this may or may not be the best option for your business, especially if you are focused on profitability. I have a feeling we might get a little bit of pushback after this episode because I think a lot of people are very passionate about their custom work and their custom colors. However, I am a firm believer that limiting your customers specifically with your colors leads to a better inventory system and leads to a much smoother process. I think limits are really healthy and give your customers a better experience overall. So I am curious to hear your opinions. Feel free to comment on Instagram at The Bright Balloon. Let me know if you think we're totally off base or if you totally agree. We are going to take a quick break to hear from our sponsors and then get into this conversation with Joette about double stuffing balloons, systems for success, and how to maximize your profitability in your business.
Would you like to sell more balloons on your website? Hi, I'm Jeff at Asset Lab, and we can help you navigate either starting your e-commerce journey or leveling it up with more products, more capability, and delivery windows for your e-commerce customers. If you'd like to learn more about how we can help you generate more sales on your website, please visit us at assetlab.us.
Welcome back to the podcast, Joette, Balloon Coach. We are here today chatting about double stuffing. Double stuffing our balloons. We both have opinions, and I think hopefully we're going to be an encouragement to people to say no, to stick to their guns, to save balloons, and to make more money, which is always your goal. Correct, Joette?
Yes, I want people to make more money and work smarter, not harder.
And in case someone has been living under a rock, who are you?
Well, hi, I'm Joette Giardina. I live in Lakeland, Florida, and I started in the balloon industry full-time back in 2003. This was before Facebook, internet, almost Instagram, all those fun things existed. And I've been in the industry full-time since then. And in 2015, I was really blessed to be able to sell my business to a local balloon professional that I had been friends with and be able to respond to so many people who are asking me, how do you make more money with balloons? And Joette, how are you marketing yourself and staying so busy? And I was able to then transition over and become ballooncoach.com and offer in-person and online training since 2015. It's really exciting to help people grow their business, especially now in the wild times that we're in where balloons are so prevalent and people are just needing help to stay afloat and keep their business going.
Absolutely. And you've also built a community. You have this Facebook group that is really kind of the only place I go other than like directly texting my friends. That's kind of the place I go when I'm stumped, when I have a question, when I figure something out that I want to share. Like that Facebook community has been really helpful. And it's kind of transitioned now in real life. There's so many conventions, and I always kind of look for my Balloon Boss Mastermind pals, because it's kind of hard walking into a room and not really knowing a lot of people. So I got to meet a lot of Balloon Boss Mastermind members at Float, and of course in person at Summit.
Yay! We love you being a part of our Summit team. And yeah, our Balloon Boss Mastermind program is set up to just give people that space that you know that there are people who are serious about their business because they're investing in online training to help them take that next step. And so I do enjoy getting to see people, like you said, when you go to the other events and get to go, oh yeah, that's a person that I know online, and get to actually put a face with a name. That's really fun.
Yeah. And one of my very first trainings, I would say like my first official training,
because I found out about balloons through face painting. So I was at a face painting convention and happened to take like a random balloon class. But then my friend Dennis was like, hey, there's this thing happening like pretty close to you in Chicago. You should maybe come if you're interested in balloons. And that was you. That was the parades event. And I think that set the bar high for me because I was immediate from the beginning. Like I had not made $1 and I was learning from people who were making $500,000 a year. So for me, it already kind of got rid of that barrier of just like, well, what's the max? What's the max you can make? And now I know the max is a lot higher than that. But learning from people who are making tons of money from the very beginning was awesome. Instead of learning from hobbyists or, people maybe on YouTube giving tips. It's like, no, I learned the basics of business right out of the gate, which has been really valuable.
That's awesome. And I'd love to see the transition and how you just blossomed and everything that you're doing with your business. And the fact that like you branded yourself from the get-go as a professional company, even while juggling a full-time job. And I love that you were able to kind of set that tone for being a professional business from the get-go.
Yeah, I can't believe it. Like, I can't believe that last year I did $100,000 in sales. I did more than that. I just wanted to get to 100. And when I did, I was like, why didn't that feel harder? And then now I'm like on track to do more than that this year. And I like, if you had told me that 5 years ago, it's like, no, because I sell balloons. You can't possibly sell that many balloons. And it's like, no, a lot of people are doing way more business than I am, but it works for me. And I'm very grateful that I got that education from the beginning.
Awesome. And I think that's the coolest thing about balloons is that it can be anything you want it to be, from being a $500 a month that you just need extra to put into your family savings to go on vacation to, you know what, I need to make a full-time income where I'm not burnt out and hating the job that I'm at and do something that I enjoy. And it's just really cool to see that there's so many different ways to make money with balloons.
Totally.
I think that's why I'm so passionate about asking people not to double stuff unless absolutely have to.
I know, right? We've been so lovey-dovey. Let's switch gears and let's get right to it. So I will kick it off and say that like, I am anti-double stuffing. Like I'm not like, I don't judge the people who are doing it, but I do not understand why they do. So when you reached out to me and we were chatting about this topic, it was like, yes, we have to talk about this. So kick us off. What are your opinions? What are some of the pitfalls of this double stuffing trend?
Yeah, so number one, I think where it really hit me is the other day I was in a Facebook group with a lot of people who are newer to the industry, or they had been events professionals doing other parts of the events industry and then jumped into balloons within the last couple of years. And so that means they haven't been to hands-on training because there weren't any other than like Summit. Most places were not having a lot of hands-on training. And so what's happened is there's this big misperception out there that people believe that the only way to be a professional balloon decorator is to double stuff your balloons. And they believe that that means it makes them tougher, better outdoors, and makes them look prettier. The thing is when you look through history, which the balloon industry has been around over 50 years, when I look at those people across the board, they do not make their money double stuffing balloons. They make their profit out of using quality balloons, one layer, and then they inflate them to the right size and make it perfect for their event. So if it's outdoors, they know to undersize it, And so I think that's just my biggest thing is I want people to understand that double stuffing is not always better. And it doesn't mean that you're professional because you double stuff. Can you create some different colors by double stuffing? Yes. But you also create a problem because now if that balloon pops, the inside balloon or the outside balloon, your client now has a color that is not a part of their color palette.
Yes.
And so you're actually setting yourself up for another issue.
Especially, okay, there's so much I want to talk about. I'm trying to like organize in my brain right now because yes, the first thing is I want to talk about how we avoid this. The second thing is I want to talk about why it's a problem. So you kind of mentioned on that. The biggest is no matter what, it is going to put you in a terrible situation because double stuffing is how you get those muted custom colors. And a lot of times that is by putting a black or a brown balloon inside a white or a pink or whatever, because you're wanting to make that like chalky, muddy custom color. But if you have a baby shower with all beautiful matte pastel mixed colors and those outside balloons start popping, all of a sudden there's random black and brown balloons in the garland and it will make you look so much worse than if you just had used a pink that wasn't exactly whatever Instagram pink they wanted.
I love that. And here's the thing. I wrote a blog on this. So at ballooncoach.com, I have a blog. You can search it and you can put the word in color. And because a question I see online all the time is, what color is this? So I wrote a blog to answer that question because I was answering it so much. And I'm like, when your client sends you a picture that says Instagram perfect picture, you can't guarantee what color that is unless you talk to the person who actually made it and ask them, because of all of our screens are different. So the color looks different on my phone versus my computer. When you are taking our pictures these days, most people are using some type of filter or they're altering the color somewhat. So it's almost impossible to get that exact color. And in addition to that, your lighting matters. So even if you and I both double stuff the exact same balloon or use the same balloon that's not double stuffed, depending on the lighting at where our party is at, the color is going to look different. So what I've always done since 2003, when working with brides who are usually the pickiest about their colors, and they're like, this is the color of my bridesmaids' dresses and I want the balloons to match. I say, I'm going to be just like your florist, and our balloons are going to blend and look beautiful with your event. You don't want to be matchy, exactly perfect. You know, part of putting together a beautiful, elegant event, whether it's a wedding, a baby shower, or a birthday, is that you have colors that blend and look great together, and not that everything has to be exactly the same. And that's actually how you become more artistic, is by having those different depths of color and different hues, is it makes it look really stunning. So I think that's the thing, is just to, number one, feel confident in yourself, to be like, I'm the balloon professional. I work with events all the time, and then compare yourself to somebody else in the events industry. You know, the linen companies are typically not going to go out and custom dye something for their client. They're going to say, you get this one or this one. Which do you like? The florist, you know, when they get their roses, I mean, the different reds that come in a red rose, you know, there's so many different hues that happen. It's just a part of nature. So if we can kind of just amp up our confidence and just stand tall and like, hey, these are what I have to offer. Pick the one that you like the best. And then just go from there. And you may lose a couple clients, but do you really want to deal with somebody that's that picky all the time? And I understand, for those of the people who really have this heart for being an artistic person and you love that transition of color, go for it. But make sure that you don't feel like you always have to do it. And help out our industry by not oversaturating the amount of balloons that are being used, and allow more people to be able to use the balloons, right?
Yeah, right. Which leads into like the other big problem that's happening right now, which is availability. Like, there is a balloon shortage. So to use twice as many balloons, first of all, is a bit like, I don't know, consumption wise, a bit irresponsible. But also, again, I love to go back to the money. I can't think of any other industry where it's like, we could use this much, or we could use twice as much. Like, why would you do that? I mean, maybe people are charging more, but I do not think most people I talk to that double stuff, they're not doubling their prices. You
Right.
probably couldn't. And if you were that transparent with your customers, they would never pick that option. They wouldn't be like, yes, charge me double. I think people
Right.
are spending way more than they need to on their inventory.
Right. And that's the thing, is that I'm always with balloon coaches thinking about with a balloon boss mindset, whether you're super artistic or not. I want you to always look at your business being as profitable as possible. And one of the ways to be more profitable is to use less product to create the same beautiful effect. And so I encourage people not to double stuff unless absolutely necessary. And I'd like to go ahead and bust a couple of myths.
Let's go for it.
So one of the myths I saw online was somebody had done 80 feet of white garland outdoors, and they double stuffed with the same color white because they were concerned of things popping, and it was organic. And I'm like, dudes, It's organic. So if one or two balloons pop, it's okay. Your client's not going to know. And then white is the number one color that does great outdoors because it doesn't attract as much sun. So like with a black balloon, it's going to absorb all of that sun, and that's why they pop, or the darker colors. But especially if you're working with white, you don't need to double stuff. What you want to do is just do a test in your backyard or your front yard, wherever it's the sunniest, and near the time that you're going to be doing it for your client, and just practice. Put four, I would say usually like 3 quads or a grouping of 12 balloons organic style on just a piece of 1/2 inch EMT or garden stake, and just throw it out in the sunniest area you've got. And then just see what it looks like an hour later, 3 hours later, 6 hours, a day later, and then shoot those photos to be able to share with your client. When exposed to sun, balloons get a lovely velvet sheen. And you know what? Balloons will pop when exposed to sun, heat, temperature, weather, and people. So we can't guarantee exactly how long they're going to stay, but you can have a pretty good idea by doing some of that testing in your own environment. And then know, oh, okay, you know what? Instead of inflating an 11-inch balloon to 10 inches, I probably should go ahead and just do it to like maybe 8 or 9 inches and see what it works best in your temperatures. And then people who are in the really cooler climates, they might be able to expand the balloons a little bit larger. But kind of just practicing that and seeing it lets you be confident in what you're offering to your clients. And then again, if you're doing that double stuff to make a special color, well, now you're really risking it because something's going to pop inside or out. And then you've got this weird color just hanging out.
Right. And I would almost counter that and say, like, if the reason you are double stuffing is because you're afraid of popping, the bigger question is, why are your balloons popping? Like, I just did, how many feet? I probably just did 30 feet of organic garland. I had 3 pop. And actually they popped before I got there. After they were out in the sun all day, I don't know that any did. And again, I couldn't tell because it was organic. But like, why are your balloons popping? Are you using a bad brand? Are you going to the dollar store and double stuffing because the quality's not good? Because then why are you doing that? Just get a professional brand. Or like, are you selling balloons in an inappropriate condition? Do you know that they're going to pop in 99-degree weather, in which case that again is on you as the salesperson to avoid. And the third one, I had another point. Oh, overinflating. That might be an easy solution. Like maybe you're inflating your 11-inch balloons to 11 inches and you need to go down from there so they're a little bit squishier. So I think solving the problem with double stuffing, it's like you're almost solving the wrong problem, if that makes sense.
Yes. And that was just my biggest concern, is that we don't know what we don't know. It's not being bashing people who choose to double stuff at all. Please, for those of you who do choose to double stuff that are listening to this because you do like the artistic, beautiful colors, I just want you to think about, why are you doing it? And are there other things that you can do that can create artistic value without having to use twice as much product and your time and labor of doing that? And that, like I said, my main concern is just people feeling like that's like the way to be a professional. And to me, the way to be a professional industry is to build a business that's sustainable over a long period of time. And my wonderful friends and mentors in the industry who've been around 20, 30, 50 years, they don't double stuff unless they absolutely have to.
Yeah.
And so I just want to get that message out there to the new folks who might not know that, because they've just been following some people online and they've just been hearing, oh, everybody double stuff, so I'm going to double stuff too.
Right. Absolutely. And I think most people do double stuff for the colors, which kind of leads down another rabbit hole. Like, first of all, I would say there is a good array of colors. I feel like companies have been listening and they have been starting to come out with like those muted neutrals that everyone is trying to make. Tough Tex has some great colors out now. White Sand by Metallic is like my favorite neutral. Oh, so Stone. Like those are great double stuffed alternatives. So maybe you just need to explore some of those. I only double stuff if like I have dropped the ball and don't have the color. Like if I am in a pinch and it's saving my butt. Otherwise, I am never offering that to clients. So let's touch on that a little bit, because I think ultimately this is a conversation about limiting your colors and then being professional and brave enough to present that to your clients. So what is your advice in terms of customer service? How do we just avoid this whole double stuff conversation in the first place?
So you just don't offer it. When a client sends you a picture and says, we want you to match this, these are the colors we're looking for. You turn the conversation and say, Miss Jones, what are the color of your tablecloths? What are the colors of your invitation? Can you send me a copy of your invitation? Because these days, most of the invitations are done online, right? Is there a banner that you've bought for the event? And then you let them show you some of those other items that they're doing. And then you can say, here are the colors that I have that are complementary to what you're doing. So rather than feeling like you have to say exact match, you say, here are the balloons that I would suggest that are complementary to your design. And then simply send them your color chart. And if you don't have a custom color chart yet, Sarah has a great tool to help you with that. But it's okay to have a few balloon colors from Qualitex and a few from Batalitex and some from Tuftex and maybe some from Jamar or any of the other brands that are out there. If you have worked with them and you feel that they're a high quality balloon that you can be confident in, it's okay to say your favorite pink comes from this company, where your favorite blue comes from this company. I know that there are people out there that want to stay really brand loyal. But what has happened over the last couple of years with the shortages is we have found that we sometimes have to go outside of that brand loyalty to be able to get the product we need to service our clients. So I just encourage people that if you're one of those people that I only use this one product, know that it's okay to use some of those other to fill in the gap of those things that are highly wanted by your clients.
Yeah,
absolutely. And then send them that color chart and here's what you can choose from. And they go, but I want this. Well, then you get to choose how you run your business. Are you a person that every time somebody asks for something special, you want to go through all the hassle of having to order something special? And if so, make sure you charge for it, because these days, man, shipping is insane. Yeah. I shipped a box the other day and it had to be 3 times the amount of money I used to spend for shipping. So I just really encourage you guys that if you're doing those extra steps to get something special for somebody, make sure you're being paid for it. But just be confident and say, here's what I've got. This is what I recommend. And then just go from there. And 95% of the people will go, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, I appreciate you giving me a little shout out there. So I do have a color chart that it's like a template. It's a Canva template, and it has most of the colors from Qualitex, Jamar, Batalic, and Tuftex, so that way you can build your own custom color chart. Because the thing that I don't think people think about is you have to think about manufacturers' goals. They are not going to make it easy for you to sell other brands of balloons. They want you to buy theirs. So all of their color charts look different. And I think if you send 4 different color charts to your customer with 4 different yellows, you're making it harder on your customer, which is why I wanted to come up with a color chart that I could customize for my own use. Or when a color is out of production, I haven't been able to get, I don't know, what is it, tropical teal or something for ages. So it's nice to be able to take that off, because the minute you don't, it's that's the one color everyone wants. It's you got to be able to take it off of there. And I actually put the color chart into a new course that is all about my inventory system too, because that helps me stay ahead. And I think that's another part of the conversation. It all kind of rolls into one. By limiting the colors that you offer and being confident in what those colors are, you can sell them confidently instead of scrambling all the time and having, oh, they asked for this weird color, I better go buy it. No, have those colors in stock and be able to confidently deliver that to your customer, because there's nothing worse than selling something and scrambling because you can't get it anywhere. It's out of stock everywhere. So having standard colors that you stick to makes everything easier. It's like a domino effect. You're prepared, you know what colors are what, you know how to redirect people. And I like having the color chart because I'll make them identify their colors. Here's what I have. What do you think? And then I let them be the crazy person that tells me that my 8 blues are not a good fit for them. Then that's on them.
Right. And that's the thing, is you get to choose how you run your business and what you set up. And so setting those limits with your clients is really important. And another way that I always talk to people about this is that we sell what we share. Mm-hmm. And obviously people are going to go on the internet and find stuff from our friends all over the world that they're going to send us. But if when they go land at your website and when they land at your Instagram and they land at your Facebook and they see certain colors over and over again, then that's going to draw their eye. And so you can always refer to that too. Like, yes, I understand you sent me this picture from this person, but here's what I'm going to offer you. And then be able to show them those other pictures that are beautiful. And that's one of the reasons why we use like our pricing guides so much in Balloon Boss Mastermind is I've got these templates set up for people to be like, okay, here's real pictures of the things that we've done, or here's the things that are just standardized columns, and here's the colors that we choose to put into it, and be able to use those building blocks to put in if you're a tough text person or metallic or qualitex, whatever color it is you want, throw it in there. And then they kind of see it and go, okay, for our local schools, these are the 3 color that we use, right? And for this school, we use this, and for this corporate account, we use this. And so if you kind of just have that pre-planned, you can just be really confident and be like, here's what we do. Here's a picture of it, and we're going to make it look amazing for you. And just be super confident in that sale.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing that we both kind of hit on in a roundabout way is almost like this idea that if you want to be super duper custom, that's fine, but you need to charge super duper custom prices. And I don't think most people do, and I don't think most people want to spend that. Versus if you are consistent in your colors, consistent in how you price, consistent in how you present things, all of that is speed. All of that is time. And that makes you more money because you're not having to think like, oh, what color is this? And what color is that? And do they want a 6-foot column or do they want an 8-foot column? It's like, no, my columns are this high and here are the colors and pick what you want and boom, sale. Versus one of the things that I see all the time in Mastermind actually is people sharing photos and being like, what color do you guys think this is? And what color do you think that is? And I get the struggle when you start out, you don't always know. But once you get really good at identifying those colors or at least knowing what your colors are, the speed that comes along with that is how you make so much money because you can do a quote super fast, you can be confident, and just the whole process of getting them on the same page with your colors. There's nothing worse than showing up to a job and not knowing if the colors were right. That is a really scary feeling.
So here's another tip I want to share is one of our instructors for Balloon Boss Summit for 2022 that's going to be representing Tough Text is Tabitha Miller.
Yeah.
Animated Balloon Arts, and she is phenomenal. She is very artistic, and she's one of those people that years ago when I first met her, would just do anything custom and amazing for her clients and just not be paid correctly because she just didn't know. And now it's so exciting to see her running this business where she's got tons of people working for her, making beautiful designs and being profitable, which is really exciting. But the thing that she does now with her team is when they are setting things up for the week, one of the steps for her team to do is to inflate the actual balloons and take a picture of them and say, here's what we're getting ready to work on for you, just confirming these are the colors we're making for you. And so it's that extra customer service. And we talk about this in the Balloon Boss Mastermind Masterclass about the last one is excellent customer service. And so if you can put systems in place that, it may be an extra phone call or a text out to a client or an email, but that extra touch point makes that client feel like they're special and be like, here's what we're getting ready to make for you and we're going to be doing it. Now, don't make an entire design and then shoot a picture of it and make them feel like they've got an option. But by just inflating 3 balloons, not even tying them, holding them in their hands, shooting a picture, confirming these are your colors for this event. That way you can be like, oh, we forgot to tell you it changed and it's this. And now you can be like, okay, change fee. We've got to rush order those other ones in for you or whatever your systems are. And then you can go ahead and nip that in the bud before you get there. So that's just another way that some folks do it too, is actually sending a picture of the real balloons to them.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing you just hit on, we don't have to go down this rabbit hole, but again, I keep feeling like this conversation leads to other things. And the idea of systems, just having any systems in place. I feel like right now, overwhelm is very prevalent in our industry. People are selling at a level they never have. I know, I had 15 jobs this week, which for me as a part-timer is that's a lot. And even if it's a small order, it's still something that you have to compartmentalize and focus on and be ready for and show up. So the size of the job doesn't necessarily matter, but I think if you have systems that can scale and kind of handle that level of stress or mental clutter, I think is really important, which for me was the big thing that Mastermind and going to Summit really, like, I love Summit. I love having that week to focus on my business. And at this point, it's all about streamlining. Like, I've kind of gotten through the clunky, but I feel like we get to this point where it's like any little bit of stress that you can shave off is really life-changing. So that's why I love Summit. And Balloon Boss is all about systems, getting those systems in place. So it's not that this whole episode is like, we hate people who double stuff. It's like, is that making you the money? Is that building the business that you want at the end of the day?
I love it. And the thing is again, I want to make sure that if you are choosing to double stuff, that you're doing it for the right reason and that you have the systems in place and the procedures so that you're being profitable with it. Are you checking at the end of the month to see how much you spent on inventory, how much you spent on labor, and how much you brought in to determine like, oh, you know what? This is taking X number of hours longer than I was realizing. And so I do need to go ahead and charge this additional percentage to people who choose to have that.
If you've listened to any episodes of this podcast, you know that I think the most important part of running a balloon business is the customer experience. I like making it easy for my customers to purchase from me and pay me. I like making the process clear, and I like being really approachable and easy to talk to, which is why as a customer, I love receiving that same treatment when I shop for balloons. I love having a party wholesale because they take care of me as their client. They always have recommendations. They treat me with respect. They know the industry, and they make it easy for me to shop and pay. So if you are in need of a balloon distributor or just want to check them out, click the link in the show notes and let them know that the Bright Balloon sent you.
Well, this has been so fun talking about this topic. But the thing that I think is important too is like, a lot of people don't have anyone to talk about with this. Like, they don't have ideas to like bounce off of friends. They're new to the industry. They don't know that these conversations are happening, that they can not do custom colors, that there is a color chart, so that is what I love about Mastermind, because it is that built-in community. So let's end by chatting about what Mastermind is, how people can get involved, and maybe some of the benefits of joining. We've touched on so much, like systems and customization and templates. Just what if someone is looking for more, what can they gain from Mastermind?
Yeah, I think the number one thing that I see from my members in Balloon Boss Mastermind is they increase their confidence, their skills, and their profitability. And who doesn't want to save time and money? And bottom line is ballooncoach.com was founded to give you all the resources that I wish I would have had in 2003, and to give you all the knowledge I wish I would have had in 2003. Because if I would have known in 2003 what I know now, I would have built an empire. I would have had a great staff, and I would still be having a business running on the side while I was Balloon Coach. But I didn't know that, so I didn't set those steps up from the beginning. But what's awesome is from the things that I've learned and going through the process of selling a balloon business, which a lot of people don't know that they can sell a balloon business.
We need to do a whole episode about that. That is a side note, but we have to talk about that one day.
Yeah, I would love to, because a lot of people do. I do offer one-to-one coaching, and a lot of people, that's what they coach with me on is, I want to sell my business in 2 years. How do I get ready for that? And so that goes back to being a part of Balloon Boss Mastermind. You go to ballooncoach.com, you click on Mastermind. You're not sure about it, click the button that says 10-minute free consultation and get on my calendar, and we can chat for 10 minutes free and decide if it's the right fit for you or not. But if you're just ready to jump in and do it, you go to Sarah, you got it in the show notes, right? For people to join the Mastermind. Go to the show notes, join Mastermind, and you hang out with us for a month, and you get automatic access to over 30 different pricing guides. That it's not just like the pricing guide, but it's also social media posts that you can put up to help put content out of what you're wanting to sell. They're editable, so you can put your colors in that you want. We make it so that it's the pricing from our marketing mentor and Vincent's, Indiana. And if you are able to go at a higher price point, then you just edit that number. But we want to make it easy for you to show people what you want to sell and be able to be more profitable. And then the other part that I absolutely love about Mastermind is we have at least 3 live classes a month. I spread them out between evening and daytime so that you can get online and talk to people, see their faces, hear their frustrations, hear their successes, and be motivated by other people's experiences. And then also you can share, you know what, this is something that worked really well for me, or, oh man, I totally get it. My family can't stand to hear about balloons again. And so you're able to be with those people that really understand what you're going through and be able to help you solidify new solutions rather than just trying to grab at straws.
Yeah.
That to me is the most important part. And then I just love hearing people's successes because when we were having one of our most recent first Monday calls where we talk about how did we do last month and what we're going to do this month, we had people having their first $2,000 months, their first $10,000 months. And then one of our mentors was having a $75,000 month.
That's insane.
There's a lot of people out there that haven't done $75,000 in 1 year.
Yeah.
And so to think that this person has been able to put a team together to do $75,000, and it's a female. That's what I like too, because a lot of times when people think about big numbers, they're thinking about Balloons by Tommy, or they're thinking about David Mahoney and Balloons Every Day. But this is a female business owner doing $75,000 in 1 month and cranking things out. And so again, no matter if you want to make $500 a month, or you want to do $75,000 a month, we have the systems and the support to help you take that next step and identify what that next step is.
And the thing I personally like about Mastermind, because I'm a little bit overwhelmed and also lazy sometimes, like it is what you take from it. So it's not like you're going to sign up and then there's going to be like all this homework and all these things you have to do and a class. And it can be, but if you want to sign up and get the templates, you can. If you want to sign up and attend 2 of the 3 trainings, you can. Or for me, the value comes from like the Facebook group and that community. So it's a lot of different things for a lot of different people, but don't think like, oh, I don't have time for this right now because I'm so busy. Like that's the whole point of it. Like we are all really busy. So you shouldn't be scared to join. Also because you have a very non-committal policy. Do you just want to talk about how much it is and how that works?
Yeah, so it's $97 a month and I honestly know from other programs I've been in, it's a $297 a month value for $97. I can honestly say that because you have access to over $10,000 of information. And then what I mean is you could binge listen 24/7 to all of our 40 past speakers. You can go in and again, grab out the piece you need. Is it about how to build the decor better? We've got that. If you need to do on pricing, we have that. If you need to understand search engine optimization, we have that. It's all there. And the other part about when you're really busy and overwhelmed, it's like phone a friend. You know, on the TV show, when you can phone a friend to help you know the trivia question. Well, what you can do is on a really busy day, you can go into our Balloon Boss Mastermind member only group and you can say, guys, I know this is out there somewhere, but I can't find it. What do I need? And somebody is going to respond and give you that information. For me, I always answer within 24 hours, but sometimes I'm online and they get the answer within 5 minutes. So it's trying to give you that extra support and encouragement you need when you need it, rather than spending hours on YouTube trying to find the right video and then maybe not even finding the information that you need.
Yeah, my friend Jamie she's in Mastermind and just got thrown a horrible curveball. Like 2 weeks out from this huge prom, they changed it to all foil. And she was like, what do I do? And everyone kind of rallied. Like everyone had some great ideas, great tips. Like, and I was following along like this could totally happen to me. Like I don't have great foil designs. So it was really cool seeing how everyone was like sharing pictures and how to handle the situation. Cause she didn't want to leave. She didn't want to like cancel the job because it was a lot of money, but, and she just completed it. It was very cool to see that Mastermind was able to kind of help her out in that situation, that hive mind.
Yeah, and what was fun is I ended up actually doing a pop-up training, and I said, okay, tonight at this time, if you need this, come on. And what was awesome is to see how many other people were having that exact same struggle. Like there were 3 other people that within the same week were getting the same problem that happened, that their school had gone from, oh, by the way, it has to be latex free, even though you've ordered in all the latex balloons, and now people were scrambling. So yeah, I'm very, very thankful that I've had these awesome experiences over the years going in and investing in training since 2003 to meet some of the most incredible people in the balloon industry. And I think that's the thing that I want to leave on is that if you're new to the industry or you've been here for a long time, but you feel like you're not a part of the industry, you feel like you're an outsider, then it's probably on you. And what I mean by that is to be a part of a community, you have to invest something. And so for me, the previous owner of my company told me that I needed to go to training on a regular basis to go and learn from other people. And I heeded that advice. And even when I couldn't afford it, I put it on credit, my plane ticket, my hotel, the cost of going to the event, and I went. And my best friends in the world, I'm not talking like my best balloon friends, I'm saying my best friends in the world are balloon people now. And I can say there's this cool tribe of people that I know I can call at midnight when my husband's in the hospital from heart attack and talk to them and get the information. And then it's just crazy how our community connects and helps and supports each other. So if you have not gotten connected to your tribe of people in the balloon industry yet, come hang out with us in Mastermind, because you'll find some really cool people that you can then go to live events with and hang out with and just really take your business and your life to the next level by the cool people you'll surround yourself with.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. This was so fun. If anyone is listening and you feel personally attacked, that was not our intention. And if you are a double stuffing master, I hope you are a double pricing master as well. Thank you so much, Joette. It's always so fun to chat.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for joining me in this week's episode. As usual, I tried to keep it bright and light in a few minutes or less. If you wish there were more episodes, you are in luck. You can join us in our Patreon group for our monthly book club. I record weekly episodes guiding you through a different self-development book each month. For as little as $3 a month, you can join more than 50 other balloon business owners in our private group. Click the link in the show notes to join us. So many of you have reached out and told me how the podcast has changed your business, and I love hearing those stories. But you might be ready to take things to the next level. If that's you, you should check out the laser-focused Solopreneur course, where I walk you through more than 2 hours of video content showing exactly how I run my business as a solopreneur. I run a 6-figure balloon business, I work a full-time job, I have a toddler, and I produce this podcast weekly. And it's not because I'm more efficient than anybody else, it's just because I apply this laser-focused framework to every decision that I make. If you're struggling with work-life balance, figuring out how to grow your business in a manageable way, and feeling like there just aren't enough hours in the day, this course is for you. Check it out using the link in the show notes.